traditional approach to brand.com strategy for a hotel, we think is dead.
Okay, Frank, so what do you think is going to be the biggest technology that's going to be around in the travel space in 2018?
I think for hotels, the biggest travel tech opportunity in 2018 and beyond will be driven by the impact of artificial intelligence, particularly as it can help hotels compete with online travel agents, be more disruptive, be more engaging and effective at driving direct bookings on hotel websites.
Okay, what do you mean by AI in the booking engine context? I know it's something that Avvio does exclusively. So what exactly do you mean by an AI-driven booking engine?
So the difference between a standard booking engine and an AI booking engine is that an AI booking engine will actively learn from every website interaction between a hotel and its website visitors and learn how to optimize that sales conversation, that brand experience effectively for the customer to improve booking conversion. So it will understand the relationship, the ideal relationship between the hotel, the website visitor, and how the hotel can optimize its own sales techniques. So be that, for example, a North American visitor looking at a London hotel website. The AI engine will know, for example, that it's unlikely based on previous data that the American visitor will be looking for a room tonight. It will know things like, the average length of stay, lead-in time, be able to make recommendations around which rate, which room type, which upsell, cross-sell package might be ideal for that particular visitor. So AI is heavy on the recommender engine side of things and personalization, but the key differentiator between AI is its ability to learn from every single interaction and use that learning to improve its own performance the next time it has an opportunity.
So is that machine learning as part of the AI experience?
It is. Alora is doing three things at the moment. Machine learning at individual hotel level. So as I've just described, understanding how each website visitor, how the hotel can deliver a more relevant or curated experience for each website visitor. One of the things that hotels struggle with hugely is the historically low booking conversion rate that a hotel will have on its website. It could be anything from 95 to 98% of customers who do not book on a hotel website. So machine learning powered by AI will take that, let's say 95%, and really dig into what the user behavior is and why they're not taking the desired action, and iterate through various different experiments and learning models to improve that scenario. But what Alora will also do, which I think is more interesting, is learn across the network of hotels that use Alora. So effectively every hotel that's using Alora is making Alora smarter at delivering a direct booking. So again, if you take the case of an independent hotel, it may have 5 instances of a Japanese customer on a smartphone trying to book that hotel per year. So Alora will of course try and optimize and improve the success rate of those 5 test cases, if you like. But 5 is quite a small number. Across a network, Alora may see that 1,000 times. So how can Alora learn across the network such that it can improve the chances for that hotel the 6th time the Japanese customer shows up on a mobile?
Okay, so when your sales team are out pitching Alora to independent hotels around the world, how responsive are hoteliers generally to this sort of level of tech innovation in their booking engine?
I think this does go to one of the challenges in the space, in that hotels frequently don't appreciate the opportunity that let's say a good booking engine, and by good I mean good at converting bookings. So what a good booking engine will do better than a bad booking engine. The extent to which a hotel can compete with OTAs and you take advantage of things like meta search in terms of premium traffic online, paid traffic online, the extent to which they can compete comes down to how effectively they convert on the traffic that they're paying more and more money to get. So AI and an AI booking engine can be significantly more effective at delivering direct bookings for traffic, but the way we found it most effective to speak to hotels is around the results. So Avvio are also unique in the space in that we guarantee that Alora will deliver 25% of an uplift in direct bookings within a year of hotels switching off their old booking engine and switching on the AI booking engine. That we find resonates a bit more. If we can guarantee an uplift in direct bookings, we don't really go in talking about AI and network learning and recommender engines. We talk about the end result, which is more profitability for the hotel via an increase in direct bookings, and how they can use that increased profitability to better serve their customers.
Okay, so the sales pitch is the results that are delivered rather than getting into the nitty-gritty of AI and machine learning.
Exactly. I mean, that follows the sales meeting, but what we've found, or that follows the initial pitch, what we have found is that we've got to talk to hotels in a way that really resonates, and a guarantee of 25% more direct bookings and its impact on profitability is ultimately what they care about. So we've sort of moved away from trying to pitch technology to hoteliers that are very aware of the pain point that the OTAs and expensive third parties represent in the business model. Okay.
Are there any other challenges that the business is facing in 2018? I mean, there must be, blue chip competitors in the space. I mean, the OTAs are increasingly offering, B2B tools for their hotel partners. Is that a challenge? I mean, what are the challenges that your business is facing this year?
Well, we see OTAs continue to grow their market share, and I predict what OTAs will start to do as they try to meet the challenge of, let's say, meta search. And just to explain that for a minute, I see the challenge that meta search represents to an OTA is that if I can go to a meta search engine like, let's say, Trivago, for example, and price compare all of the OTAs for the hotel that I'm interested in, then I'm less likely to have started my travel discovery with an OTA. I might go on to an OTA, but I'm doing my price comparison first. We're seeing the market shift more toward meta search. And the volume of business delivered by meta search is growing at quite an interesting rate. So I think if I'm an OTA, I'm going to be thinking about, well, how can I disrupt that? How can I offer more and improved customer experience to the end booker, and use that improved customer experience as a way to try and disintermediate meta search, which is now affecting their business. So I think what we're going to see the OTAs doing, which will be a challenge to the industry and to the hotel, is that OTAs are in a position to, should I make a booking for a hotel through any major OTA, the OTA is in a position to cancel and rebook if the price drops between my booking date and my arrival date. That's a hell of a reason to favour an OTA as a booking channel over a direct channel. I think OTAs are in a position to cancel a 3-star and book me a 4-star if a better deal comes up between my booking date and my arrival date. These are the kind of things that OTAs have yet to deliver in terms of ideal customer experience. And I think once they start doing that, the industry will yet again see a challenge around how do we make the direct channel relevant.
Okay, the session that you're speaking at Travel Tech Europe is around conversion rates, and we've already touched on that slightly. But I mean, what can people attending the session learn from hearing you and your fellow presenters talk about conversion rates?
Well, essentially, I mean, to frame the importance of conversion rates, and if we go back to the booking abandonment of 95% or 98% in some cases, the simplest and most effective thing a hotel can do to improve conversion rates is put a better booking or sales conversion engine onto their website. That creates the budget for bigger digital marketing spend to compete with OTAs. It creates the budget for hotels to compete on channels like meta search and drive direct bookings far more profitably than OTA bookings. So we will talk about the importance and the role of effective conversion technology. But what I hope to frame for the audience is to really help the audience understand that the traditional approach to brand.com strategy for a hotel, we think is dead. We think the days of a passive website and passive booking engine, where every website visitor gets those same two passive tools, we think those days are over. Hotels are not competitive online, and we think that AI and the role that machine learning and network intelligence and real personalization and recommender engines, the opportunity that those tools and techniques bring to a hotel will strategically deliver improved conversion rates.
Okay. I mean, if you were to meet a visitor from another world, and they were to ask you to explain travel tech to them, how would you go about doing that?
It's interesting because I think there are two perspectives. I mean, I've been in the travel tech space now for over 15 years. I think there's some very exciting things happening. But I think hotels en masse are still quite passive in their approach. So I think you have kind of two different worlds. So you've got some very exciting technology that can really make a difference to some of these key challenges that hoteliers face, but sort of an uninformed or a passive reactive attitude on the hotel side. Now that's not been helped by OTAs and some of the contractual terms that OTAs have put in that, in my opinion, have kind of kept the industry down, kept hoteliers down or under the thumb in terms of how innovative they could be. But AI represents a huge opportunity for hotels, where we see things like blockchain and GDPR coming down the line at us represent a transformation in terms of the way customer details are managed online. And again, if you take a hotel that can really deal with that and use personalization technology to resonate with customers, I think there's a very exciting opportunity for direct business with hotels.
Okay, the counter argument would be something along the lines of, why can't the OTAs adopt artificial intelligence and machine learning, and at the scale at which the major OTAs operate? Is that a threat? Does that keep you awake at night?
Not really. The OTAs already are, and everybody really in the major sort of companies that steer and shape the overall travel landscape have long been invested in AI. So whether that's the major OTAs or Google or the major meta search players, they all have an AI strategy. There have been some high profile acquisitions made between OTA and meta search of AI companies. Very small, in some cases, narrow AI companies doing voice recognition or pattern matching or recommender engines. Even some hotel chains using AI for things like HR. So AI is, I think, a fantastic opportunity. You might equate it to mobile, actually. I mean, Google, since 2016, pivoted from a sort of company that advocated a mobile first strategy to an AI first strategy. So Google would say, we're an AI first company now. That, I think, is where hotels need to shift their thinking towards. AI and machine learning is the beginning of a journey, but if you take a booking engine that is genuinely getting smarter with every website interaction it has, then an AI journey is one that gets more effective and more rewarding for hotels over time. So I think there's space for direct. There will always be space for direct. A lot of research indicates that there is a very big percentage of consumers out there who value the direct relationship with the end hotel that they'll be staying with. But I think there is also a risk of falling behind as the major OTAs and major hotel chains take advantage of AI.
Okay, so does anything keep you awake at night?
I think we are looking at a sea change in terms of how customer data will be managed. And I think blockchain, we're already seeing things like GDPR. That will put the customer, and rightly so, in charge of its data online and in terms of where its data is used and ownership of its data. So we're going really from the traditional approach to CRM to the customer managing the relationship, or CMR almost. It worries me that hotels are not yet seeing the impact of that to their business. It opens up tremendous opportunities for personalization or individualization. I think AI is also going to, effectively obsolete many of those, kind of repetitive tasks that some people in the hotel operation might perform, as it will with the transport industry, for example. And I think the future of hospitality as an experience will be delivered to the extent that hotels can deliver on hospitality, which is, in my opinion, largely impacted by the impact hotel staff will have over my overall experience.
Okay, so that's almost using tech in terms of the hotel operations, as well as using tech in terms of the booking. One thing that I've always found quite interesting is that sort of disconnect between the experience, the hotel experience. There seems to be a lot of talk around almost like the booking of the hotel as part of the experience, almost separate from the on-property experience. Do you think the customer journey from the first time you look at booking a hotel through to the actual experience on the hotel, is that becoming more coherent?
It is, and as a booking engine company, we've been working very hard to try and take all of the information, or the footprint or fingerprint, if you like, that a customer would leave on the hotel website, take that information into how we would optimize their online experience, but also pass that back to hotels, so that hotels don't just see a booking confirmation coming through the door. They see information far more relevant and rich in terms of who the customer is. That includes their online journey, their relationship as sort of set out early on. I mean, your initial experience of a hotel brand and the likely experience of their hospitality is in most cases via their website and very often via mobile. So we're transferring that information through to the hotel. I think the major hotel chains are very well placed to tie the online journey that the customer has together with the in-stay journey, together with loyalty and brand advocacy. Independent hotels will definitely move in that direction. There are tools out there for that now. But more and more the customer's expectation will be for personalization, end-to-end personalization. My Facebook is different from your Facebook, my YouTube is different, my Netflix is different, my Amazon is different. More and more we will find that the online customer becomes frustrated to the point that they're not given a similar experience online.
Okay. You mentioned GDPR earlier. That is a big elephant in the travel tech room, I think, in terms of just the awareness of it. I mean, how, generally speaking, do you think that the tech industry is sufficiently aware of GDPR? Maybe the question should be, are the end customers of the tech companies aware of GDPR?
Maybe not. When I speak to people on the hotel side of the industry, they have an awareness of things like GDPR. Certainly the tech providers have an awareness of GDPR. But, we're not too far from some major data breaches within the booking engine space with some of the big players that have shown that even PCI compliance is not being properly done. Consumers, I don't think, travel bookers and travelers in general, I don't think have an awareness of GDPR. But I think once it kicks in and once we have some high profile cases where GDPR compliance is clearly not being delivered, these things will hit the headlines, and I think that will inform consumers. But GDPR is the beginning of, in my opinion, the beginning of a sea change. I mean, this is the EU regulation around data privacy. What about the Chinese regulation and the American regulations for data privacy for those citizens? So it is the beginning of, I think, a sea change where the online customer feels a true sense of ownership of their digital fingerprint and their digital identity and profile information online. And I think once that kicks in, it will really transform how everybody needs to behave online.
Okay, and generally, sort of consumers, are consumers aware of travel technology, or is the argument that the more effective the travel tech is, the less the customer notices?
I think it is that, absolutely. Certainly in the case of a direct booking, what the customer wants is a direct relationship with the hotel. So an entirely branded relationship and branded experience with that hotel, such that they understand and feel confident that they're dealing directly with the hotel. So there's no third party that's being inserted there that they're sharing information with. Their credit card details are being shared directly with the hotel rather than again through a third party. So I think the extent to which the hotel can truly make that relationship and that online experience seamless for the customer will be one of the differentiators as to why you should deal direct with the hotel rather than through a third party.
I mean, Avvio has been around for more than 10 years, 2002.
More than 10 years,
2002, I think you were.
Actually, the very end of 2001. We were the first hotel website booking engine in the Irish market, which coincidentally, was August 2001. Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, have you any idea what your space will be like in 10 years' time?
Not to hammer on with AI, but voice and Alexa, Google Home, these kind of tools, Siri, are going to be quite transformative. You can already talk to Alexa about using its Skyscanner skill to tell you about the price of flights and the availability of flights from London to New York, for example. I think you connect that up with what Samsung are talking about at CES at the moment, which is happening, where those results will be projected onto your smart TV. And you're looking at an entirely different way and largely voice-led as a sort of data input point. I think voice is going to be quite transformative.